back to my channel and to my first pre-recorded video of 2021, if you don't count the charity one that went out earlier today. My first ordinary video anyway. It is Saturday the... Is it the 2nd? It's the 2nd, isn't it? It's Saturday the 2nd of January. And I thought if I didn't do my look back at 2020 soon, we'd be halfway through 2021 and I'd have forgotten the joy fest that 2020 was. So I thought I better do it, and here I am doing it now. Doing it. So, 2020. That was fun, wasn't it? Didn't we all have a great time? It's weird when you look back to 1 year ago, the start of 2020, and we're all doing that usual New Year thing. 2020 is going to be my year. 2020 is going to be fabulous. 2022 is going to be this, it's going to be that. And within 10 weeks of that, we were all like, oh, 2020's gone a bit wonky. And it stayed wonky, didn't it? It stayed wonky all the way through. I thought I would break this video up into 6 categories. So I've got, well, 7 actually. 7 categories, really. I've got friends, foes and family, health, wealth and happiness, and then goals for 2021. So that makes the 7th, really. So let's talk first about friends. And really, I've got notes, I've got actual notes. Really, that encompasses real life friends, people I physically know in real life and have seen them in person, and also lots of you guys. Some of you guys I've met in person, some of you guys I may never get to meet in person. But in 2020, so many of you have become friends. So many of you have become friends that I chat to on Messenger or through Instagram or through the comments section here on YouTube. And I don't think 2020 would have been what it was for me without you lot. So I am immensely grateful for my real life friends, and they, at 47, my real life friends encompass people I've known for years, people I've known for a couple of years, and people I've only just met. And a lot of those are people I've met through doing YouTube or through the eBay reselling community and as a whole through Facebook groups and so on and so forth. People like Lex and Nick and Andrea, who you guys know through a screen, and I have had the absolute privilege of getting to know in person as well. And they are good friends. They are friends that I value so highly. And of course I've got my real life friends as well. I've got Tina, who I've been friends with for over nearly 30 years. And Tammy and I have gone through thick and thin together and remained friends, which is a miracle sometimes, isn't it? I've been incredibly lucky this year that when my real life friends were forcibly distanced from me, my online friends have filled the gap. And anyone who says that virtual friends don't count is a fool, because honestly I cannot place enough significance on the value of my online friends and how much you've meant to me this year. When, like I said, when my real life friends have been forcibly taken at a distance from me. I've been incredibly lucky during 2020. I was still able to see some of my real life friends during the little bits of not locked down and able to go places, and before the tier system came in, which of course is going to complicate that very much indeed, because whilst I might be in tier allowed to go out, all my friends might be in tier not allowed to see anyone. So 2020 from that respect has actually been okay. I've been lucky. I've been lucky that I've had friends and made friends. Thank God for the internet. Thank God for the internet, that's all I can say. I need to cover the loss of my other friend while I'm in this category. So my friend Rob, who sadly died in October, very unexpectedly, extremely unexpectedly. He and I had been friends for 12 years, and his death was a hell of a shock, and still is, really. I think the separation caused by COVID has meant that his death doesn't really seem real, because I wasn't able to go to his funeral. His funeral was streamed online. It was the first funeral that I'd ever viewed online, and it was almost like watching a television programme. It didn't feel like it was happening to me. So I wonder if that has put the brakes on the grieving process somewhat and made it not seem real. But yeah, I know that I've been lucky, because Rob was the only person I lost in 2020. And so many people have lost more than one person close to them. Some people have lost, you know, members of their family in multiple numbers. So I know that I've been massively lucky. Moving on. And of course, the other thing that comes under the category of friends is channel growth. My channel has grown over this year. It's almost doubled in size. I think I was on 2,500 round about that at the beginning of 2020, and here we are at the beginning of 2021 and I'm on over 5,000. So who knows where I could be by the end of this year. Hopefully it will keep on growing. For my online friends who are supportive of my channel growth, I really appreciate everything you do. I appreciate you watching my videos. I appreciate the thumbs up. Even the thumbs down don't really matter. It's all interaction as far as YouTube's concerned. And if you want to be supportive of my channel, all you've got to do is keep watching, keep interacting, keep commenting. Let the adverts run a bit here and there. That brings me in a few pennies. But generally just keep on clicking, yes, I'd like to watch this, and that's what does it. And if you find a video that you like, by all means share it through Facebook or Instagram or whatever you feel able to do will all help, and I appreciate every one of you for interacting with me here on YouTube. Which brings me on to foes, and I'm going to go very, very briefly over that. 2020 was the year that I discovered that tattle existed. I'm not going to go into what tattle is. If you know, you know, and if you don't, you're better off not knowing. But I've always known that I'm Marmite, you like me or hate me. But, tattle brought that home to me. And it makes you realise that putting yourself out there on YouTube, not everybody's going to like you. And for some bizarre reason, they're still going to watch. Hi. Okay, category 3, so we've gone very quickly over category 2. Category 3 is family. And again, 2020 has been good to me as far as family are concerned because my family have remained safe and well. Natalie's found it's been a hard year for her work-wise because she is a support worker and people don't stop needing support just because there's a pandemic. In fact, in many ways, they need more support. It hit her extremely hard because, of course, people have started going off for periods of time because they've had to isolate, or family members had to isolate, or somebody's had a positive test, or they're waiting for a test, or all of those things. And like I said, the support is still needed, and so she's been working somewhere around 80 hours a week most weeks, some weeks more. This obviously has affected how much time she and I get to spend together. And I've missed her. I've missed her a lot because we are pretty close. I like to think we're pretty close. Maybe she'd tell you she hates me. Who knows? But yeah, it's affected the time we've been able to spend together. But I'm very proud of her. I'm very proud of her work ethic. She works really, really hard for not very much pay. She's on barely over minimum wage, despite her position of responsibility and the fact that she works so many hours and gets called on and does sleep shifts that don't involve any sleeping and things like that. So I'm incredibly proud of her and incredibly proud of the way she keeps on going. It's taken its toll on her health a bit. Her sleep patterns all over the place. She's been suffering a little bit of hair loss, which we may have mentioned a couple of times on videos. And I'm a little bit worried about that, but I'm hoping that 2021 will be a little bit kinder to her work-wise and she'll get back into a decent sleep pattern and things will be okay. Anthony's not had a bad year. He has, again, managed to avoid COVID. It affected him business-wise because Anthony, if you don't know, is a gardener and handyman, and the majority of his customers are older people. And of course, when COVID arrived, a lot of people went into shielding, a lot of people went into isolation. He wasn't able to do any indoor work for quite a long time when we weren't, during the main lockdown and so on and so forth. And it's affected his business and made life a bit difficult for him. But he's been able to buy a new van this year thanks to my mum. My mum helped him with a loan. She gave both the children some money and then loaned Anthony some more on top, which enabled him to buy himself a new van to work. He lives in a van. This is his choice. I didn't throw him out the house. He's welcome to live in the house if he wants to. But he's always wanted to live that kind of slightly nomadic life. And so he bought a van to live in. The first van he bought wasn't great. This year he's been able to upgrade and buy a better van, and he's much happier in general. And when Anthony's happier, we're all happier. And that brings me on to mum. I have got other family. I've got distant cousins, and I've got brothers who we don't see very often. But the main nucleus of my family is Anthony and Natalie and my mum. Mum's had a difficult year, really difficult year. So most of you will know that my dad died October 2019. and my mother went through the grieving process over the winter, which was difficult because she suffers from seasonal affective disorder, so she's down in the winter anyway. The grieving kind of like multiplied that and concentrated that a lot. And then just as the spring arrived and she started to feel a bit brighter and look forward and feel that she was able to face life and how it was going to be different from now on, COVID arrived, and it was going to be very different from now on. She had to go into shielding. She didn't see anyone apart from me for a long time. You know, she wasn't able to go out. I had to go and get her shopping. So she already didn't go out very much. And then to have that couple of times a week taken away was quite a blow for her. And it's affected her. Her mental health has been really difficult this year. Well, she has many, many different physical health conditions that affect her in different ways. And we managed to get one of those sorted out this year by going for an appointment with the BRI where they tried her on a new course of medication, which really helped. And just as she was getting to the point where she was like, yes, everything's going to be great, and she was able to go out for a walk and her lungs were so much better, she slipped and fell and broke her wrist. so Mum's had a really difficult year, but she's doing okay. She's stronger than she thinks she is. Yeah, and she's going to be okay. And 2021 has to be better for Mum, doesn't it? It has to be. This brings us on to category 4. So the next 3 are health, wealth and happiness. So category 4 is health. So we've talked about Mum's health. Let's talk about mine. 2020 was quite a year for me health-wise. I knew that I had been steadily gaining weight for years. Obviously, I'm not stupid. I own mirrors and I've seen my own naked body, and I knew that I wasn't a size 8, not that I ever was. And when lockdown hit, the weight gain accelerated slightly. And I think that was because we were all treating ourselves. I started baking. I was bored, so I baked. And when I bake, I'm the one who eats it. I knew that things were getting bad. My knees are in a terrible condition. My left knee has no cartilage. The cartilage is pretty much gone, so that's bone on bone. So that one's always been playing up. The right knee is heading the same way. It's not great. And my ankles have also been a little bit dodgy. I also have sciatica at one side and a bad back, which of course all of the weight I carry doesn't help with any of that. All of that is a bad idea. And then round about April, May, I called the doctor for a telephone appointment because of course you can't see a doctor at the moment because my leg was starting to worry me. My right leg, I had noticed for several months that it was thicker, that leg was more swollen than the other leg, and that swelling didn't seem to go away. It wasn't just a case of puffy ankles. That leg was a different size to the first leg. And so I called the doctor and had a telephone conversation during which he tentatively diagnosed a condition called pitting edema. I looked that up, and of course it's weight related, isn't everything? You could go into the doctors with your head under your arm and say it's fallen off, and they go, "You've got a fat neck." But anyway, it kind of, that one gave me a bit of a bolt between the eyes, because all my life I've been able to go, yeah, I'm fat, but I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm quite well, I'm just overweight, there's nothing wrong with me health-wise, I'm just fat. And suddenly there was something wrong with me. Hello, buddy. Buddy's just come in. Suddenly there was something wrong with me. Suddenly I wasn't fit and well, and it wasn't all gravy anymore. And that gave me a bit of a shake-up. And then in August, the lockdown was lifted. We were able to go and visit friends, and I went to stay with Caroline for a couple of days. I think this was early August, mid-August. And it became apparent to me from the moment I arrived at Caroline's how different my health was to how it had been the last time I visited. Caroline, you enter her house through the utility room on the ground floor, but all of her house is up a flight of stairs. You go up a flight of stairs to reach her main living area. I wasn't able to take those stairs in a normal way. I had to take them one step at a time, both feet on each step. I couldn't carry things. I stopped halfway up. It's only an ordinary flight of stairs. They're quite wide, shallow steps. There was no real reason for an ordinary person to struggle. And by the time I got to the top of those stairs, I was like, I didn't... And I could see in Caroline's face that she could see the difference in me. She's far too polite to say anything. And we spent those couple of days going out charity shopping, and it was, again, immediately obvious that I was having to stop and sit all the time, not just every couple of hours, but in every shop we went in, I was looking for somewhere to sit down. I couldn't stand for more than a couple of minutes. I was in great pain with my legs. I was absolutely exhausted. Oh, it was warm weather and that didn't help, but I was having to sit constantly, and I was holding Caroline up. And again, She didn't say a word, of course she didn't. And she was, you know, she was lovely and you know, said, oh, you know, you didn't need to rest, that's fine, not a problem. And eventually we got to the point where I said, I can't do anymore. No, normally Caroline and I would go through the shops like a pair of tornadoes and you know, do all the charity shops. And I got to the point I couldn't do it. And I said, I'm done in. And so off we went. And again, she never said a word. She never complained. And none of my friends have ever complained that I hold them up in that way. But I knew I had. I knew that I had been the reason we'd had to cut short our shopping. I knew that I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. And I didn't want that. I didn't want to be a drag. I didn't want to be somebody's ball and chain, even though my friends probably wouldn't think that, and they certainly wouldn't voice it even if they did think it. I didn't want to feel that I was being a ball and chain. And it again made me realise just what I'd done to myself, just that I was holding myself back and everybody else. And so I came home and I went on a healthy eating calorie counting plan. And this was, again, like I said, mid-August. I couldn't tell you the exact date, but I expect I could if I look back. And it's gone very well. It's been almost 20 weeks now. I've lost 3 stone 9 pounds. I'm astonished that I've done that, because that's something I've never achieved in my life before, is that amount of weight loss. The most I ever lost in the past was 2 stone 6 with Slimming World, and I joined Slimming World 150,000 times in my life. Health-wise, I can see the benefits. I can get up a flight of stairs now with 1 foot on each step. I don't have to drag myself up using the banister. I'm not half dead at the top. I'm still a bit out of breath. I'm still very overweight, but I'm not half dead at the top of a flight of steps. If I go out charity shopping now, I can make it most of the day before I go, no, I'm going, that's it, I'm done in. It's made a huge difference. My knee, my left knee, the one that has no cartilage, that still plays up. And in this very, very cold snap that we're currently having, that's been an absolute sod. But the other knee, not too bad. It clicks, but it doesn't hurt. Ankles, no problem with the ankles for a while now. Breathing better, sleeping better. I was waking up with migraine every single day. I don't wake up with headaches very often anymore. I still get the occasional headache. I'm not Wonder Woman, but I sleep better. I wake better. I don't snore as much. It's improved my life in so many ways, and I'm going to keep on going because I want to live a bit longer. I'm 47, and I'd started thinking that I might only have 10 years left at this rate. That I might die before I was 57. I don't want to die at 57. I don't want to die ever. I want to go on and on and on forever and ever. I realise I can't, but I want the bit that I've got left to be positive. I don't want to ruin it, and I don't want to end up in a mobility scooter. I don't want that. So, health-wise, I'm okay. I'm doing okay, and I'm pleased that I've adjusted my lifestyle this way. Next up is wealth. Well, I've been lucky in 2020 that my eBay hasn't been any worse really than it usually is. It's been going downhill for a couple of years. Ever since eBay introduced good till cancelled, I noticed a huge drop in my income, and I couldn't tell you why. I'm sure a lot of people have theories on the subject. For those of you who don't do eBay, you used to be able to list items for 30 days and then you would relist the item. And eBay introduced a thing called good till cancelled, where the item just stays on and they automatically relist it. And the moment they brought that in, things changed. And like I said, I don't really know why. It's not been a great year for eBay. I don't make a huge amount of money out of eBay anymore. It's not as good as it used to be. It's still adequate. It's an adequate income, and if I worked harder, I'd earn more, which is always the way, isn't it? YouTube has become a viable income source for me in 2020 because of the growth of my channel. I am hoping that throughout 2021 and in the future I might be able to get perhaps some sponsored videos, and I hope that you guys will be patient with me if I do get those, and that you'll accept that that's a part of my income stream, and that I'm sorry if the items don't excite you, but I hope that you'll be supportive and understand that it's like I said, it's a viable part of my income now. It's still not huge. Just for anybody who's wondering, the most I've ever earned off YouTube in 1 month is just over £500. So I'm not raking it in hand over fist. I'm not carting my sacks of gold all the way to the bank, laughing on the way. But it's a viable part of my income, and I'm very, very glad of it. I don't have any other income streams. I lost another income stream during 2020 completely. That's gone and it won't come back. And that's just how it is. That's one of those things that doesn't exist anymore. So it's eBay and YouTube, and maybe the odd car boot sale if things get really bad and I need to raise a couple of quid. Maybe I could sell Buddy. He's so deaf he didn't hear that. If I do sell Buddy, I think Sue Bad Wolf will have first dibs on him anyway. Happiness then. Happiness. I think I've covered happiness among the other things, really. I've been lucky that my mental health is pretty even. It's on pretty much an even keel. I've had some really down days, and I think we've all had that during 2020. We've all had days when we go, what is the point? What is the point? Something that affected me was the loss of my holidays. So I was due to go away in May and that was cancelled, and then I was due to go away in September and that also had to be cancelled. And then we booked another one for the coming May, and we've now cancelled that because it's not looking like that's going to be any better. So something that did affect me and made me feel a bit gloomy was the loss of holidays, because I bloody love a holiday. Even though I don't slog my guts out when I'm at home, I like the feeling of freedom that you get on holiday, that you don't have to be at work. There isn't anything you ought to be doing. I love the warm weather. I go to Turkey a lot because I love the people, and I felt the absence of that this year. I really have. I'm hoping that we'll get holidays next year. So that's affected my happiness slightly, but generally I've been on an even keel. I've been a bit lonely here and there, but I'm very lucky, as I said, that I've got A, the YouTube community, B, the eBay reselling community, and C, some incredibly good online friends who've kept me company through this, and we've kept each other going. I've been bored. But again, if I've been bored, it's because I don't work hard enough, because at the time when I should be working, I'm sitting around twiddling my thumbs going, I'm bored. So that's, again, something I've got to deal with myself and learn to be better at doing. And then I've written down finding positives. So I'm working really, really hard, have done during 2020, to find the positives in most situations and try to remind myself that there's always someone worse off. There's always someone who's having a worse day than you. You know, there's always someone who's lost someone. I've been lucky that I've only lost one person this year. I've been lucky that my family have remained unscathed through this so far. I've been lucky. Lots of my friends have had a much worse year than me. Much, much worse. So yeah, there's always positives if you look for them. So, category 7, 2021 goals. Difficult to set goals for a year that holds so much uncertainty. We really don't know what's going to happen next. I think we all when 2020's over, it's all going to be great. And maybe it isn't. Maybe 2021's going to be another year the same. Maybe it isn't. But certainly the tier system is making life feel very uncertain at the moment, because you don't know from one day to the next which tier you might be in by tomorrow. However, my goals are pretty much what they are every new year for most people. So I'd like to get a grip on my finances. At the moment, my finances are a little bit balls in the air, and let's hope we don't drop one. Juggle this, juggle that, rob Peter, pay Paul. I'd like to get to the point, in an ideal world, I'd get to the point where I was a month ahead of my bills. So at the beginning of the month, I already had all the bill money in the bills account for the coming month. I'd love to get to that point. That would feel like a breakthrough. And I almost got there at the beginning of 2021, at the beginning of 2020, and then COVID. So I haven't given up on that. I haven't given up on hoping that I can get to that point. I don't even need a great deal of money to do it, but of course something always comes along, doesn't it? But I'd like to get to the point where I'm working for a month in front, rather than looking at my bank and thinking, oh God, that's coming out tomorrow, I better make sure I've got that. Where can I get that from? That's the aim for 2021, is get a grip on my finances, be a grown-up. I'm 47, for God's sake. I'd like to get fitter. Losing weight isn't the only thing I need to do. I need to work on muscle tone and build up some muscle strength and tone up some of this flesh that's going to be left behind. Otherwise, I'm just going to be a big empty sack of skin. I realise I'm going to have loose skin anyway if I continue to lose weight, but I'd rather it wasn't all just lying on the floor in ringlets around my ankles. I'd like to make a better work schedule and stick to it. At the moment, I work when I've got the mental energy to do it, and it's a bit hit and miss. So I'd like to get to the point where I know that I'm going to work between this hour and this hour every day, and that when it's done, it's done. It's coming together. So Mondays are video editing day, and Tuesdays at the moment I go and get Mum and bring her back here for dinner. So I don't do a lot of work on Tuesdays, but there's Tuesday morning when I could fit in a chunk of work. Wednesdays could be a solid eBay day. Thursdays are Mum's day for shopping, so I don't get a lot done then. Fridays ought to be a video filming day. So I'm looking at blocking it out and seeing if I can work out a work schedule that allows me to do all the things that I have to do along with all the things I'd like to do. And of course, decluttering. Don't we all, every January, go, I'm going to declutter. This is a small house. It has been referred to as a grubby house. It is a grubby house. I wish it wasn't, but with 3 dogs and a lot of stuff and not much space, it's a grubby house. It's that I've got too much stuff. I've got too much, not just eBay, because the eBay stuff I can excuse. I go, well, that's the eBay room. Everything in there is eBay. I'm allowed to have all that stuff, but I've got too much other stuff. We've got board games that we haven't looked at for years. I've got DVDs that nobody's going to watch. I've got makeup cases and wash bags, and you know, who needs more than one wash bag? One wash bag is plenty, isn't it? I've got stuff, and I don't need all this stuff, and it's not making me happy. So I might set myself some kind of decluttering challenge for 2021 and declutter, I don't, even if it was 2 items a day every day for the year, that would be 700 and, do me the maths, 365, 700. Sorry if this seems a bit disjointed. I was almost done talking about decluttering and my phone memory was full, so I've had to go and take some stuff off so I could finish. I was saying that if I got rid of 2 items a day from my home in 2021, that would be 700 and... what did we say? 732, I think I was working it out in the end, or 730? Can't remember, I don't know if it depends if it's a leap year. Anyway, that would be a lot of stuff gone, and that would certainly help. So I might start doing that. I might wander around with a bag every day and add 2 items from the house to this bag and see if I can get rid of 2 things. One of the drawbacks of 2020 has been that even though I've decluttered, I haven't been able to get rid of it. The charity shops were closed for so long, and then when they were open, a lot of them weren't taking donations because they had such a backlog. So maybe it will be a car boot sale or 2 to get rid of some stuff if I still struggle to give it to charity. Anyway, that's it. That is the end of my roundup of 2020. It's just been a bit of a chatty one. I hope you found it interesting. I hope I haven't bored you all too much. I hope you're going to stay with me through 2021 and see what new content comes out. If anybody's got any ideas for content they'd like me to try and produce, please let me know in the comments below. Because I'd like to do stuff that you guys would like to see. That would be good, wouldn't it? Rather than me just boring you all senseless for another year. Also, if you've got any plans for yourself for 2021, put those in the comments below. Let me know what you've got. We're not calling them resolutions, because what happens with resolutions? We forget about them mid-January. We're just calling them plans, things we might change. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to give this video a thumbs up. It does help the channel. It does help the YouTube algorithm know that you like what I'm doing. Give it a thumbs down. It doesn't make any difference either way, to be honest. It still works. Remember to click the subscribe button below and ring the little bell, and then you'll get notified when I upload. And all that remains is for me to say, here's to 2021. Let's hope it is happy and healthy for all of us. And I'll see you soon with something more. Take care. Bye for now.